Now, on my angle tonight, I'm compelled to tell you the story of a man who not so long ago got a loan from a bank, and for a good number of months he kept up with the payments. But in the meantime, he embarked on building several palatial homes for himself in various parts of the country. In fact, some of his family members could be seen walking around in expensive suits, and some even bought high-end luxury cars, and all of this thanks to that huge loan. Moreover, many of the man's friends are said to have got a fraction of this money in unclear circumstances in this bizarre turn of events that shocked everyone. The bank, in the meantime, somehow believed that the man had injected this money into a viable business project. And when COVID-19 struck, the man rushed to the bank to get a moratorium on the repayment of the loan, and he got one. But to the amazement and horror of everyone, this man did not stop his largesse. In fact, he even got more loans from other banks and used the same for even more grandiose projects. Now, I'm recounting this horror story not because I have a friend like this, but because this, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of Kenya. You see, for years the government has continued to borrow huge sums of money in our name, pushing the debt level to a whopping 9 trillion shillings right now. So alarming is the situation that in the last few days the country has got a 6-month reprieve on the repayment of some of these debts, mainly from the group known as the Paris Club as well as China. While this is a welcome gesture that may give the country some space to regroup and recover from COVID-19, it's not a good sign. First, it gives a signal to the world that we are struggling to pay what we owe. It tells the world to handle us with care, and according to some economists, it may lead to higher interest rates the next time we go looking for one of the many loans we love taking. But a more pressing concern for me is what is really happening here in the country. You see, like any person or family in dire straits, one would expect a serious program to cut back on spending and stop any leakage from the family budget. But not in Kenya. Because frankly, have you seen any evidence anywhere to show that the government is now operating differently, that is tightening its belt, that it is clamping down on rampant waste and largesse? And did you hear the president say the other day that some people, whoever they are stealing 2 billion shillings from public coffers every day? I mean, how can we be asking for relief on our debt when we can't even stop theft, grand theft, especially where the president seems to know the culprits? What about the KEMSA scandal and the president's 21-day ultimatum to the investigators? Did we ever get to the bottom of that? And why are we still continuing with all manner of projects 2 years after the president himself announced that no new ones would be started and that ongoing projects would be subjected to an audit and that only viable ones would be completed? What happened to that directive? Well, we now have this 6-month window before we start repaying these bilateral loans again. But what are we doing to ensure that we are able to pay then that which we cannot pay now? And by the way, are we still going ahead with that referendum? And is it still going to cost 14 billion shillings? Ladies and gentlemen, I am not an economist, but this I know, that my imaginary friend who took that bank loan would not survive for long if he continues living large and imagining that the banks, his debts, and his lavish lifestyle will not catch up with him, and that he can live happily ever after. Never. That is why I cry for my beloved Kenya tonight. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my angle for the week.